You can create and format a doc right inside Gemini now. Plus, you can research any topic fast with the help of Gemini Deep Research. This may just revolutionize the way you use Gemini as you know it. Hey there, I'm Tasia Custodi, and this is how to use Gemini Canvas and Deep Research. So let's start with Canvas. What is it? Canvas is an interactive space within Gemini where you can write and work on documents and code, and you can see your edits and Gemini's suggestions all in real time. Hello, efficiency. You can use Gemini Canvas to refine edits, whether that's presentations, speeches, or documents. You can use it to create study games and quizzes, and even share those with your friends, family, and colleagues. You can get help with coding and visualizing how algorithms work. You can even use Canvas for system prototype management, creating an interactive price slider, creating web pages, and more. So now that you know what Canvas is, here's how to use Gemini Canvas. We'll run through a couple use cases here, like creating, editing, and formatting a doc, and creating a landing page. But keep in mind all those other possibilities with Canvas. Right inside Gemini at gemini.google.com, you're going to click on the Canvas button in the bottom of your prompt bar. And you might get some handy examples here from Gemini on other things Canvas can help you with. But for this, let's say we simply want to write a 2-page career development document for Health X Supplies. They're a multinational healthcare services company that ships billions of medical supplies annually. Include statistics on the success of investing in your employees and create sections for training and development, mentoring programs, tuition reimbursement, career planning, recognition awards, and anything else that might be relevant. We're going to hit enter. And in a matter of seconds, we've got our canvas generated to the right of our prompt window. And you might notice that this looks very similar to what we're used to seeing in Google Docs, quite frankly. You can edit this right in this window, and you can take out something you don't want. You could add in something you do want. You could highlight some text to ask Gemini any follow-up questions right from this canvas. You can use the options near the bottom right to change the length, change the tone, or suggest edits. Plus, we do have some formatting options up at the top, just like we're used to in Google Docs. Clicking that share button allows you to share the doc, which generates a link so that others can view this canvas directly via the link. You can export it right to Google Docs, where you could collaborate with your colleagues, or you could copy the contents right from here to paste it wherever you would like. I love the ability to export to docs right from Gemini. This will export it right to a standalone Google Doc for you. So with one prompt, we created and formatted an entire doc. Love. And back in Gemini, you can click on the Create button in the top right to create something else from this canvas, maybe a web page, an infographic, quiz, audio overview, or even describe your own app. How handy is this? And you can close out of your canvas at any time by clicking the X button in the top right, and then you could reopen it just from your chat window. And yes, everything is saved in your chat history, accessed from that left menu. Remember to name this canvas just as you would any other chat. All right, now let's quickly code a landing page example so you can see just how efficient Canvas can be. Let's say we need to create a landing page for a local robotics competition sponsored by CPT, an AI innovation company in San Diego, California. The robots must be small-scale learning robots, and entrants must be under the age of 21. The top 3 entries, they'll win a trip to compete on a national stage in New York City. Now, once again, we're going to hit enter, and we'll give it a few seconds here to generate code before Gemini actually builds a preview for us of this robotics competition webpage. How cool is this landing page? Now, what's even cooler here is that when we click to share via a link, anyone can preview it in full screen, regardless of whether or not they have a Gemini account. This is a great way to get quick feedback on a web page design. How cool is this? All from a simple prompt. Wowza. All right, now let's move into what Gemini Deep Research is and why you might want to use it. Deep Research is a feature within Google Gemini that conducts in-depth research on complex topics, analyzing numerous sources to generate comprehensive reports and insights in minutes. So essentially, Gemini Deep Research acts as a personal AI research assistant that's capable of breaking down complex queries, searching the web, and synthesizing findings. Now, this is different from Deep Think, another Gemini capability. Deep Think is an enhanced reasoning mode that uses parallel thinking to explore different perspectives, evaluate potentials, and refine responses to complex problems. So in essence, Deep Think focuses on maybe more internal reasoning and problem solving, while Deep Research gathers and synthesizes external information from the web into a structured report. So now that we understand the nuances, let's dive in to see how Deep Research works. So we're once again in a new Gemini chat window, and I've got the Deep Research option toggled on. You can gather research on quite literally anything you can think of. So sticking with our example of a medical supply shipping company, let's say we want to dive into some research on regulatory compliance and international shipping. We could say that we run a medical supply shipping corporation and we need new and updated regulations for shipping medical devices and pharmaceuticals to different countries. Dive into the regulatory bodies like FDA and EMA and county-specific health ministries, import-export laws, customs requirements, documentation needed for various regions. Maybe we want to identify specific temperature control mandates, labeling requirements, packaging standards, and even potential trade restrictions for particular medical products. That's a lot. So let's hit enter and watch Gemini Deep Research get to work. I find this takes only a few seconds to generate a research plan that we can click on to review. Under research websites, it's going to show all the steps it's going to take, different countries and regulatory bodies like we've asked for. It's going to analyze the results and create a report. If there's something in here that you want to change, maybe you want to add or remove, you can click on Edit Plan. Now, annoyingly, this opens up the chat again where it's going to show you the current plan, and then you're going to have to use the prompt box to ask for the changes that you want. So as an example, we could say at the end, create a bullet point checklist for what we need to know. I'm going to hit enter again, and here we go. It's updated the plan flawlessly and added that at the end. When everything looks good, just hit Start Research. You're going to notice in a few seconds, our interface has changed to resemble the layout that we saw with Canvas. So here on the left, we have our chat, and here on the right, we have it starting the research. And as this is generating a report for you, you can see all the different websites it's scanning. You're going to be able to see the progress of the research as it goes as well. You don't have to wait around for this, by the way. You can leave the chat, you can leave Gemini, go do whatever you need to do. Gemini Deep Research is working away for you in the background, and you'll get a notification when it's ready. And would you look at that? Gemini Deep Research has given us a complete report on global regulations for shipping medical devices and pharmaceuticals. Here we can scroll through this comprehensive report and see that it's organized everything here just as it said it would. And you get the idea here of just how comprehensive this report is as we scroll all the way through it. Now, at the end, as requested, we've got the summary checklist. Underneath that, we've got an entire list of the sources used. And if you click into the thoughts section, you'll see the initial thoughts as it's generating the report, the same as we saw them when it was first generating that report. It's really easy to see how this deep research could save countless hours of manual research, and in this case, help avoid costly delays, fines, or rejected shipments even in this particular example. But let's say you want to shift gears a little bit, and maybe you want to do some research on market expansion and competitive analysis. Well, ask Gemini. Again, we're going to follow the same steps here by clicking on Deep Research in the prompt bar. Let's say we're a medical supply shipping company that wants to evaluate new markets for expansion and analyze competitor strategies, research market demand for specific medical supplies in emerging economies, identify key healthcare trends, analyze competitor distribution networks, pricing strategies, and customer feedback. Also research the local infrastructure and logistical challenges in new regions. So let's hit enter and let Gemini once again get to work. Now, here we're going to, again, get that research plan, and this time, let's simply hit Start Research right away. And through the magic of editing, let's shorten this 5 minutes into no time at all to see what Gemini has created for us. Here's our market entry strategy and competitor analysis. Once again, extremely detailed. It includes tables and structure frameworks. This is really quite remarkable. Imagine how long it would take to do this research manually, let alone to identify key distribution partners and analyze competitors and what your growth opportunities could be. Time saver is an understatement. Anyway, Cooler yet, with just one click, you can export this report to your Google Docs, or you can click on the downward facing arrow to copy the contents. And once again, you're going to notice that same create button in the top right corner where you can create something else out of this report. How neat is that? Just imagine all the things you can create with Canvas or how you can research faster with Gemini Deep Research. And we'd love to know how you're using Gemini Canvas and Deep Research. Have you found these features helpful? Drop a comment below. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to 66 Degrees YouTube channel for more content like this. And of course, if you need any more help with Gemini Deep Research or Canvas functionalities, be sure to reach out to 66 Degrees directly. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.